Sup fam, it's Kijani here with a guide for the new Bozjan Battlefeild Zadnor. To get to Zadnor, you must have completed the main story quest, Futures Rewritten, and completed all of the Save the Queen story up to this point. If you did, head over to Marsak and Gangos to get the next quest in the Save the Queen storyline, A New Playing Field. After completing this quest, welcome to Zadnor. But pump your brakes. Before you really get into Zadnor and start doing stuff, head back to Gangos to speak with Geralt and Zlatan to unlock the final quest to complete your Shadowbringer Relic. The first part of obtaining your Shadowbringer Relic involves 3 one-time quests: Spare Parts, Tell Me a Story, and A Fond Memory. All 3 can be active at the same time, so make sure you speak to Zlatan to get all 3 before hopping back into Zadnor. The 3 quests only need to be completed once. They involve getting 30 of 2 separate items for a grand total of 180 items. Yeah, it sounds like a lot, but fortunately, they are a 100% drop from Fates in Zadnor. So the grind to finish your Shadowbringer Relic in patch 5.55 won't be too bad. You'll end up getting a majority of the items to complete your relic throughout your adventures in Zadnor. But if you're not about that Zadnor life, you do have the option of getting the items for your relic from normal raids. Check the description of the video for the normal raids to run to complete your Shadowbringer Relic. As far as what to run, well, the first item in each quest drops from skirmishes. Skirmishes are easy as hell to spawn as long as you're slaying Magitech mobs. So I would recommend doing skirmishes in each zone until you get 30 items for each respective quest. Then hop over to do normal raids for the second item in each quest. Alrighty, and after you got all your items, hit up Zlatan for the quest Irresistible. Complete this quest and you'll receive the completed Shadowbringer Relic for patch 5.55. Congratulations. All you will need is 15 raw emotions. The Delriada will drop 3, Delirium Regine will drop 2, and you can get 1 raw emotion from level 70 dungeons. Heaven on High is a wildcard since you can get several raw emotions with a successful run. If you're working on relics from the last patch cycle, you may end up running Delirium Regine for raw emotions because it also drops time-worn relics. At the camp, all the familiar faces are here, including our #1 fan, Legia. What's up, girl? The Indigo Star vendor is where you're gonna find the ringing hands emote, both ways hairstyle, and some swagger for your chocobo in exchange for Zadnor lockboxes. At the cluster vendor, you're gonna find the wind up Gunhilder minion in exchange for 100 clusters. There's also a furnishing, triple triad card, and a writing map for Zadnor. Clear the Delriada, it'll unlock the Resistance Supplier. You'll be able to exchange coins for the Blades gear set. It's basically just glam at this point since you'll probably have gear at a higher item level, plus it doesn't grant any haste in any of the Save the Queen areas. So yeah, but one thing to get excited for is that you can pick up the Early to Rise hairstyle here in exchange for coins. Lastly, after you clear the Delriada, there will be a Resistance Counselor where you can exchange metal for proofs of metal. The proofs are exchanged for 3 separate types of resistance honors, each with their own unique buff. It'll cost you 20 million metal for 3 proofs. 20 mil? Bro, that's like all my metal. Yeah, I know, but resistance honors carry over to all the Save the Queen areas, making everything so much easier. Plus, the more honors you have, the greater the effect. So, maybe time to do some Delirium Regine Savage, eh? Nah, I'm good. Patch 5.55 gave us 15 new lost actions. I won't go over all of them, but I will highlight the ones that really stand out. A lost action that was practically tailored for Black Mage is Lost Chain Spell. It's going to temporarily reduce cast times for all spells. The secondary effect is Magic Burst, which increases damage while also increasing MP cost. So let's take a look at it in action. So this is the Black Mage that we're used to. Now let's use Chain Spell. With Chain Spell, it's going to look like I'm using Instacast, but I'm not. The most notable difference, besides the cast bar being gone, is that I get to move around now while casting. So I moved over to the right, moved over to the left. I'm going to do 1 hop and keep casting. Using the Essence Spirit of the Watcher is a must, as it extends chain spell's duration to 90 seconds. Interestingly enough, the cooldown for chain spell is 90 seconds, so as soon as the duration ends, you can use chain spell again for some epic damage potential. Lost Assassination is everyone's new favorite Lost action. When successful, it's an instant KO. If you pair it with Essence of the Beast, you'll get Lost Font of Power after you use Lost Assassination. So even if you don't score a knockout, you can just spam it for Font of Power. So with Essence of the Beast and Lost Assassination, you get self-sustain, a DPS buff on a short cooldown, and the ability to delete an enemy from the battlefield. So what's not to like about that? If you're tired of being chased by mobs on your way back to an Aetheryte, I suggest you stock up on Lodestone. It's going to let you teleport back to camp whenever you use it. Lost Impetus is useful when you gotta go fast. It gives you a dash forward plus Lost Swift, which is a movement buff that makes your character look and feel like they're moving in fast forward. Lost Blood Rage gives a damage buff while reducing damage for each stack. To increase your stack, all you gotta do is land a dash attack. Once you get 4 stacks, it's gonna give you Blood Rush for more damage and shorten recast time. Let's check out Lost Blood Rage in action. I used Lost Font of Skill to get 4 stacks. I made my status bar super big so you can see the number of stacks that I get as well as see the timer. Alright, so let's use a dash, and as you can see, I have 2 stacks now and the timer for Blood Rage reset. Keep that in mind when you're using it. You'll probably be able to do more damage over time by building the stacks up gradually instead of just getting 3 stacks right away. Now let's get that 4th stack. I will use Lost Font of Skill to reset my abilities, use a dash, and Blood Rush is in full effect. Lost Blood Rage is really one of my favorite Lost actions, especially on Gunbreaker. Now let's check out Zadnor, which is basically the Bozjan Southern Front 2.0. The goal is still the same: do skirmishes and critical engagements to gain metal and rank up. Once you get to rank 25 and completed all the story, you'll be eligible to queue up for the 48-man raid, the Delriada. One of the things you'll notice while in Zadnor is, where the hell are all the fates? Well, in order to spawn them, you have to destroy Magitech mobs. Like, you really have to. Otherwise, it's gonna feel like forever in between fates. But you don't have to go crazy, so if you happen to be rolling solo, just pull 1 or 2 at a time. And if you're in a party, just pull like 3 or 4. And usually as soon as you're done, a fate will pop up. And think of it this way: while you're waiting for a fate, you're also farming clusters. After completing a skirmish, your first thought is probably going to be, well, that was it? Well, yeah, because skirmishes scale down to the number of people in a zone, so they won't be that difficult if a lot of people aren't in that zone. So make sure you purchase that riding map so you don't miss out on any skirmishes. Also keep in mind that the NPCs in skirmishes, they get busy too. I've seen them practically finish a skirmish by themselves, leaving me like, do y'all even need our help? Once you've reached rank 25 and completed all of the story, you'll be able to queue up for the new 48-man raid, the Delriada. The timer for the Delriada works just like the one for Castrum Lacus Litore. The more skirmishes and critical engagements being done in an instance will increase the spawn rate of the Delriada. If you need a full guide, check the description of the video for Mr. Happy's guide to the Delriada. If you want to run it blind, you should be alright. Just make sure you bring an essence and any lost actions that you're comfy using. The first set of bosses are enemies that you faced in critical engagements in Zadnor, so I hope you were paying attention. For the second boss, when he casts Fleshy Necromass, make sure you hop into the puddles. Otherwise, stay out of them, and beware, he also casts a Forced March. For the third boss, Dalwyn is back, and he brought all of our favorite mechanics from Castrum. This time, they threw in a giant robot Beyblade into the mix. Be sure to pay attention to the orange line on the floor. You'll use it to determine the path of the Beyblade as it spins around during Dalwyn's mechanics. For the last boss, he's just something you have to experience, so I won't spoil it, but it's easily one of the best boss fights in the game. After you've cleared the Delriada for the first time, head back to the camp in Zadnor to visit the counselor to unlock resistance honors. Back in Gangos, there's a weekly quest called a Ruined Opportunity that you can pick up from, gonna murder his name, Merlzerm, that rewards metal and 9 platinum coins. All you have to do is clear Castrum Lacus Latore and the Delriada. Lastly, check your field notes, fam. To do so, go to duty and then field record. This way you can see how many that you actually have. If you can get them all, it unlocks the 2-seater motorbike mount pictured here. For more information on where you can get all of the field notes, check the description of the video. Coming into this, I really thought Zadnor would have been more than just doing fates until the Delriada spawns. Like, I could have swore that they said this would have been something to hold us over up until Endwalker. Maybe I heard wrong because I just don't see it. Or maybe my expectations were too high. I don't know. But one thing I do know though, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Until next time, peace.